Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Inside Owl Athletics. I'm Justin Mahan. The women's basketball team continues its first winning streak of the season after Wednesday night's game against Plymouth State. Inside Owl Athletics' Peter Dubois has more.
The Keene State women defeated Plymouth State Wednesday night in a late-season conference win. Senior Sandy Purcell helped lead the team to victory with a combined 16 points, 12 of which came from beyond the arc. Jasmine Mitchell's second-quarter three gave the Owls their first double-digit lead of the game. The Owls held their lead throughout the second half due to great ball control and determination. Lily Schleiman knocked down one final three to end it 63-50. Keene State could clinch the fifth seed heading into the playoffs with a win on the road Saturday, as they face UMass Dartmouth in the regular season finale. For Inside Owl Athletics, I'm Peter Dubois.
While the women's basketball program continues to find success on the court, the men's team had an unexpected loss. Inside Owl Athletics' Tyler DeRosa reports.
The Owls traveled to in-state rival Plymouth State on Wednesday, but the matchup did not end in their favor. Plymouth State started the game off with a 10-2 run with help from Sam Bonnie Lyles. Despite the early pressure, this layup by Ty Nichols helped the Owls take the lead into halftime. With Keene leading at the half, Plymouth State came out firing, and this three helped spark an 11-1 run. This free throw by Dezelle Wright brought the game to 1 point in overtime, but the Panthers would end up running away with it. The Panthers defeated Keene State 84-75. The Owls head to UMass Dartmouth on Saturday in hopes to close out the regular season on a high note. For Inside Owl Athletics, I'm Tyler DeRosa.
Silent protests during the national anthem by professional athletes have been in the news for more than a year now, and these protests have become common at the collegiate level as well. Here at Keene State, the men's basketball team has come up with a way to address the issue of racial inequality while avoiding fights about patriotism. Inside Owl Athletics' Emma Hamilton has the story.
Head coach Ryan Kane knew he had to discuss the topic of kneeling during the national anthem with his team in the beginning of the season. He says the KSC men's basketball team is one of the most diverse teams at the college.
I take a lot of pride in the diversity of our group. You know, obviously that's not just skin color.
So, when the conversation took place with the team, freshman Sidi Diallo said he was planning to kneel. After speaking with coach about figuring out a more respectful way to display freedom of expression, they came up with a different answer. The team collaborated and came up with the statement to be read before the national anthem at every home basketball game. Bringing the team together and beginning the brainstorming process of writing this statement was important for Diallo.
It means a lot. I always take pride in who I am and who I'm surrounded by, and I always respect everybody else.
The statement reads, "The United States of America is a country that represents diversity and unity across a plethora of different cultures, religions, races, genders, traditions, and much more. The Keene State men's basketball team asks that you appreciate and remember those who served our country during the national anthem and encourages you to respect your neighbors and unite to stand against social injustice and mistreatment of certain groups in our communities and country." Kane says the men on his team and his coaching staff are always respectful of others and each other.
That we're all different, and the fact that we can all come together despite those differences and respect those differences is, I think, what makes our team special.
Kane says he is proud of his athletes for coming together to create this statement about equality and respecting others. He says they have the conversation about the importance of these topics frequently.
I was fortunate to inherit a group that had definitely an awesome culture in terms of the way they looked after one another, the way they cared about one another. And obviously that was something that I valued as well.
The men's basketball team here at Keene State is committed to respecting the freedom of speech and opinion of others on and off the court. Coach Kane and the rest of his coaching staff plan to continue this with years to come. Reporting for Inside Owl Athletics, I'm Emma Hamilton.
Our Owl Athletes of the Week come from women's track and field and women's basketball. Senior women's basketball player Sandy Purcell picked up the honor for her efforts in the Owls' 1-and-1 week. And from the women's track and field team, junior Brittany Gravelisi earned the title after winning the 800-meter relay in the LAC Championship. With the end of the winter season looming over the horizon, we continue our look at how spring sports are preparing for their seasons. Next in our lineup, we welcome back dual sport athlete Taylor Farland to tell us about how the women's lacrosse team is shaping up for this year. Taylor, welcome back.
Thank you.
So last time you were in the studio, you were representing women's soccer. Now you're representing women's lacrosse. Just how do you transition from one sport to another?
It's typically not too difficult. When you have two sports, you just focus on the sport that's in that season at the time. I've put soccer stuff on the back burner at this point. It's not really on my main focus anymore, but lacrosse is just kind of in full swing now.
So with training for two different sports, what are the similarities between those two training-wise?
So a lot of our workouts through strength and conditioning are with Sarah Testo, and she focuses the workouts per team on the different muscle groups that you're using primarily in your sport. So we're doing a lot of more arm workouts right now and things like that just to prepare us for the season.
What are the differences?
Definitely time. We have a lot more of, it seems like our spring season's a lot longer than our fall. Our preseason at least is a lot shorter for the spring or for the fall. I mean, it's only about a week, and for spring I think we have about 4 weeks until we really get into games and everything like that. So we have a lot more time to prepare.
So the team was ranked third in the coaches' preseason poll.
Yep.
What is the team working on not only to meet those expectations but to exceed them?
Well, we have a really young team this year. We have a lot of freshmen that came in, really strong players. We have a transfer as well who's a sophomore, I believe. And it's just a lot of different things on the field that are going to change because we have obviously lost our seniors from last year that had huge impacts all over the field with a goalie, defense, midfield, and offensive players were gone. So it's just a lot of gaps that you have to fill. I think that it's going to take a lot of time to get connected with everything, but even just in these last few weeks, we've already started connecting really well.
So with training in the winter, this week was a little bit of an anomaly, but it gets cold when you practice outside.
Yes.
How do you guys stay warm and when you practice?
Well, a lot of it is running. Anytime we start to get a little bit cold, our coach is just like, all right, let's get some motion going, and we'll just do a couple sprints and warm us up a little bit. We've had a couple practices inside, but it's mostly because like the field hasn't been cleared off or something like that, so it's like you really can't play out on the snow. It's not easy, and people could get hurt, and we don't want that. But typically it's just a lot of moving, and we don't really stand around a lot during practice because even our coaches get cold, so they're out there with mittens and gloves, so it's the same for them, but they try to keep us active.
What are you all hoping to get out of the season this year?
Definitely a chance to get back to the championship. My freshman year, we won, and my sophomore year we won as well, and then last year we ended up losing in the semifinals. So it was tough because you come in as a freshman and you get a championship right off the bat, and you want it every year after that too, because you know that feeling, and it's like a nostalgia almost. But I think that it's definitely a goal for us to get back into the championship this year.
What are you hoping to get out of it?
I would love to get to a second-round NCAA game again. I think that was something really huge that we were able to accomplish my sophomore year, and just the name Keene State getting out there and being a part of the whole NCAA as a whole is just very, very exciting.
Well, Taylor, thank you for joining us,
Thank
and
you.
good luck this season.
Thank you.
The women's lacrosse team kicks off their season on February 28th against MIT at 4 p.m. Winter sports are slowly coming to an end with the men's and women's swimming and diving teams competing in the New England Intercollegiate Swimming and Diving Association Championship this weekend. And the men's and women's basketball teams finished their regular season schedules on the road at UMass Dartmouth on Saturday. The women tip off at 1 and the men at 3. As always, you can catch all the Keene State action through the Owl Athletics website. Just go to KeenOwls.com, click on the Game Day tab, then select Live Broadcasts. Again, that's KeenOwls.com, Game Day, then Live Broadcasts. That'll do it for us this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Justin Mahan, and we'll be back next week with another edition of Inside Owl Athletics.